Hey, I'm Audrey Moore, the Executive Director of Lift Up the Vulnerable, and we have a really exciting and rare opportunity. I have a really exciting and rare opportunity to be sitting by my longtime friend and colleague, James Lual Atak, who is visiting from South Sudan. And James and I have been really working together for almost 2 decades, which is quite remarkable when you start doing the math and start counting the gray hairs. So we thought we'd come together and just share a little bit about the journey of Lift Up the Vulnerable and our journey together, and share with you what's going on in Sudan and South Sudan today. So James, will you share with me and the people that are listening, our partners that are listening, what about this mission of lifting up the vulnerable is important to you in your life?
When I sit back in my village or in South Sudan and sit back and see what the Lift Up the Vulnerable is doing in South Sudanese and Sudanese life and in the younger generation right now, is a peace of mind, is a hope to me. Personally, is a hope that in future the South Sudan will be the better country, the other generation will be very proud of.
So Lift Up the Vulnerable is specifically addressing human trafficking. And when we think about human trafficking, it is the exploitation of vulnerabilities. What do you see is the hope for the future?
What I see is the hope for the future is when you invest in the small children, which have been victimized for no reason. The children that who do not even deserve the suffering they went through, that their parent got killed, that when Janjaweed came to the areas those days, kidnapping the small girls, use them for the sex slavery, and abducting the children, killing the innocent people. It is actually when we look back into what the Lift Up the Vulnerable, the organization, American institution, charity, has done in the people of South Sudan and Sudan life, we see that's the only way to clear vulnerability. That's the only way to make people settle into their own feet. That's what your organization, the American Charity Institution, Lift Up the Vulnerable, is trying to do, and to settle the people into their feet. So that's the future. That's the hope for generation coming. Giving them education, giving them healthcare center, giving them accommodation, feeding, and more, and training them for their skill to be self-reliant. And taking care of the widows. This is it is what I have not seen in any most of organization in South Sudan and Sudan. I toured every corner of South Sudan, and I've seen and I know all the organization living there and working with humanitarian or whatever works they are doing. It is not there. There's nowhere it is operating. But when you came in with that kind of targeting the vulnerable one, it is actually the life changing. It is a transformation. It is saving the future for the more crisis.
Yeah. So you've said that it's our organization that's doing it, but really what we're doing is equipping you to do what you've already begun.
Yeah.
And so you're our biggest asset. You and your staff are the way forward for the community transformation. And that's why we highly invest in what you're doing and support you. I see myself as a support, and our organization as a support for the work that the indigenous people are doing. And why is that so different?
It is much different from many organizations working in South Sudan and Sudan, the way the Lift Up Vulnerable is doing it. Because this organization goes directly to the community. You don't go through the government. You don't go through the any other leadership way. It goes directly to the community. And working through indigenous people, they are the one who knows where the problem is. Indigenous people, they are the one who can make it work better than an international person. Someone coming from overseas to implement the work. I know every corner of the village, and you do not even know. If you go there, you're a very stranger, American woman or whoever will come there from overseas. You cannot even run it better than the way we do it.
Right.
What we need from you, and this is what I usually say, you being there is not the solution, but me being there with my people is the solution. Because I know what our people are facing. I know where I cannot touch because it will bring the conflict between two communities. But if you go there and just start walking from the village to village and bring all the people together, the trouble will come and the things will not even work. It will not exist. So many organizations, they got cut off from their works, and so many people become victim because of the outsider trying to come to be the one implementing the work. It doesn't work. It doesn't even reach people. And also, they can be cheated, they can be corrupt by the people who will think that they will be the one to walk you around. But if it is us and the way I've been doing, and you find me there doing it, is because I make sure that every penny, it goes directly to the right place, saving the life of the children.
And that's how we work. We have a relationship. Our organizations have relationship with you, and we build a trusting relationship, and we work together hand in hand. You and the other indigenous directors. And so how would you say having other indigenous directors from other tribes is also adding to the strength of our network?
If I move from my tribe and to other tribes, and then trying to implement what I think is the best, they will disagree with me because of the tribalism. They will think that, oh, he has come from his tribe, he has come from his region to come and tell us what to do. And they will start blocking the work not to go very well. And again, I will not speak their dialects. I don't speak their language. So I said, let us choose the indigenous from there. And you said also, let us choose the indigenous from there to be the one heading it. And is the one we will account for that responsibility.
So it's through the local movement of people who have a vision in their communities for what's needed that we are strongest.
William Deng, he was one of the first boy, total orphan, no mother, no father. He has never seen his dad, he has never seen his mom. William Deng, when people were displaced by the Sudan government before the war is ended, people were attacking the village. And the mother was shot immediately. The father was in army and he died somewhere. And then the boy was shot, and the auntie remained with the boy, running with the boy. Very small, it's still very small, it's less than a month old. So, and then he was dumb because she could not able to run with her for a very long time distant. So she dumped the boy into the bush, in the grass. She dumped a very little baby in the grass, somewhere there. And the boy did not even cry. And then these guys came running, chasing the people, and they came out, they went to different direction, and the auntie to the boy hid herself somewhere in riverbank, and when they left, the auntie started looking for the boy in the bush. She could not even remember where she dumped the boy in the bush. And then the boy started crying, and that's where she came and picked the boy. And from the time I went back, the boy was 4 years old, and I brought the boy to the orphanage center. And now that boy, he has graduated the secondary school. And now that boy is a teacher, teaching in a school, in primary school, taking care of other orphans. And he always sit down and say, if I did not get opportunity, where would I have been? So when I look back into kind of his stories, the boy was down in the bush, and then the auntie came looking for the boy, the baby, where she didn't even know where she dumped the boy, and then the boy cried, and she came back and picked the boy, and she took care of the boy until the time I find the boy again, with her, struggling with her, when the boy was 3 years old or 4 years old, and I brought him to the orphanage center. And now we educated that boy from nursery, from primary school to the secondary school, and William Deng right now is ready to go to university. It is amazing, and that one I could see that's the difference between that organization, Live Up the Vulnerable, that is life-saving and is a transformation, and is the living history that will never be forgotten in the people of South Sudan life. So we really appreciate, we're really so very thankful for the all people who stood with us all this time, and to this very day, we still need that kind of care, because that's what we can do for humanity.
Yeah. When you combat human trafficking and invest in long-term care in war zones where there is such extreme poverty, you have to do it for the long run. And it's through the generations. So you investing in Dengir investing in the students he's working with now, and generation after generation, transformation will grow. Transformation is already here, but transformation will grow and expand. And even I'm so excited because you already have 2 students that have finished university, and one is working as a medical cleric, and one is working giving back for a food program organization. And so they're continuing the legacy of your vision those many years ago to return to your village and stand with the most vulnerable. And it's an exciting, important, essential gift that we can participate in, and we need your help. And we invite you to visit liftupthevulnerable.org, donate today, learn more, share the story. The story needs to be told.
Yeah.
The people of South Sudan and Sudan need their voices to be lifted. They have a powerful vision and a powerful gift to this world if we're willing to listen. Thank you for joining us.